It is and what you need to know. Business liquidation can be a daunting process for small business owners. This article will provide an overview of business liquidation and answer key questions about the process. Business liquidation is a process that involves selling off a company's assets to pay off its debts. It can be a challenging and emotional experience for small business owners, but it is sometimes necessary to resolve financial difficulties. In this article, we'll take a closer look at business liquidation, including its definition, reasons, and legal implications. What is business liquidation? Business liquidation is a legal process that involves selling off a company's assets to pay off its debts. It can be initiated voluntarily by the business owner or involuntarily by creditors or a court. During the liquidation process, the company's assets are sold, and the proceeds are used to pay off any outstanding debts. What are the reasons for business liquidation? There are many reasons why a business may need to liquidate its assets, including financial difficulties, declining market demand, and legal disputes. Business owners may also choose to liquidate their assets if they are retiring, changing careers, or moving out of the country. What happens during business liquidation? During business liquidation, the company's assets are sold, and the proceeds are used to pay off its debts. The liquidation process can be conducted through a variety of methods, including public auctions, private sales, or negotiated settlements. The process is overseen by a liquidator or a court-appointed trustee, who is responsible for managing the sale of assets and distributing the proceeds to creditors. What is the difference between bankruptcy and liquidation? Bankruptcy is a legal process that involves the restructuring of a company's debts and liabilities, whereas liquidation involves the sale of a company's assets to pay off its debts. Bankruptcy can be used to reorganize a company and keep it in business, whereas liquidation is typically used as a last resort when a company is no longer able to pay its debts. What is a voluntary liquidation? A voluntary liquidation is a process in which a business owner chooses to liquidate their company's assets voluntarily. This can be done for a variety of reasons, including retirement, relocation, or financial difficulties. The process is initiated by the business owner and is overseen by a liquidator. What is an involuntary liquidation? An involuntary liquidation is a process in which a company is forced to liquidate its assets by its creditors or a court. This typically occurs when a company is unable to pay its debts or is in violation of a legal agreement. What are the steps for business liquidation? The steps for business liquidation can vary depending on the circumstances of the company, but they typically involve the following: appointing a liquidator or a court, conducting a thorough inventory of the company's assets and liabilities, developing a liquidation plan that outlines how the assets will be sold and the proceeds distributed to creditors, advertising the sale of assets and inviting bids from potential buyers, selling off the assets and distributing the proceeds to creditors, filing final tax returns and notifying relevant authorities of the liquidation. What are the legal requirements for business liquidation? The legal requirements for business liquidation can vary depending on the country or state in which the company is located. Generally, business owners must notify their creditors, employees, and relevant authorities of the liquidation and follow specific procedures for the sale of assets and the distribution of proceeds. It's important to seek legal advice when initiating the liquidation process to ensure that all legal requirements are met. What happens to employees during business liquidation? During business liquidation, employees may be laid off or terminated. However, they are entitled to certain rights and benefits, including notice of termination, severance pay, and outstanding wages. The exact rights and benefits may vary depending on the country or state in which the company is located. What are the tax implications of business liquidation? Business liquidation can have significant tax implications for business owners and shareholders. In some cases, the sale of assets may result in capital gains or losses, which can affect the company's tax liability. Business owners may also need to pay off any outstanding tax debts during the liquidation process. It's important to seek advice from a tax professional to understand the tax implications of business liquidation. How to properly liquidate a business in the United States using an example, with step-by-step instructions. If you want to know more about it, follow the links in the description. Wish you luck.